Okay, so good afternoon class. Naririnig niyo ba ako? Naririnig? Please, Okay, sige. Okay, sige. Let's start. It's already 5:30. Please bring out your notebook. I mean your answer sheet nung sinagutan niyo class para ma-check ninyo ang mga sagot ninyo. Okay? Please check it honestly as possible. Kasi syempre, kayo rin ang kakarmahin kapag you check it na mali. Okay, so let's have a correctional administration rationalization class. So this is 100 items, no? Yung mock board ninyo. So we will simplify everything. We will discuss everything, class. Actually, na-discuss natin ni Ma'am Kathleen sa inyo. So I'm sure na may mga sagot na kayo dyan. Then, i-review lang natin or i-simplify natin lahat. Okay, so again, tandaan niyo ang institutional correction. So that is 10% of the total calculation ng grades ninyo pagdating sa board exam class. Syempre, ang pinaka-basis natin, di ba, na binigay ko sa inyo is dapat ma-review yung Bucor Act of 2013 or yung pinaka-latest, then the BGMP manual, then of course yung Republic Act 9263, which is the BGMP, and of course the BFP Professionalization Act of 2024. Then, of course, we have the international guidelines din, class, na sinusunod pagdating sa correctional administration. Meaning, hindi lang sa Pilipinas ang standard na meron tayo. Siyempre, meron tayong International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights or the ICCPR. You check this one kapag hindi nyo na-encounter. Then, of course, the Proclamation number 551 series of 1995 declaring the last month or the last week rather of October as the National Correctional Consciousness Week or yung tinatawag natin na NACOCOCO. Nung estudyante pa ako, naka-attend ako before ng NACOCOCO, National Correctional Consciousness Week. So that is the last week of October. So yan ang tandaan niyo ha. Again, ulitin natin. Ang last week of October or October class that is considered as the National Correctional Consciousness Week, last week of October. Pero kapag month, ang tinatanong sa board exam in case, ang isasagot nyo doon is October. Nakuha ba? In case class kasi posible yon. Then of course, we have also the United Nations Standard Minimum Rules for the Treatment of Prisoners. Then meron rin tayong separate from that yung treatment of women prisoners. Okay? Naintindihan ba? Nakuha, class? Okay, nakuha. Okay, so para in case na itanong natin. Siyempre, ang overview lang, the Philippine Correctional System. Kung meron tayong tinatawag na Tri-Bureau, pagdating sa correction, meron tayong Philippine Correctional System. Di ba tatlo yun? We have the DILG, the Department of Justice, and of course, the Department of Social Welfare and Development or the DSWD. Siyempre, pag sinabi natin sa DOJ, under dyan, they are in charge, class, to see to it na, or supervision and control of national prisoners wherein yung kanilang punishment is magre-range from 3 years up, diba? So then of course ang DILG or under the Department of Interior and Local Government, nandiyan naman na belong yung CDM, which is the city, municipal, and district jails. Then of course nandiyan rin si provincial jails, class, wherein under naman yan siya sa supervision and control of the provincial government. Okay? So, or the local government units natin. Then of course, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, nandiyan naman yung Bureau of Child and Youth Welfare or wherein they're in charge, class, sa tinatawag natin na CICL or yung mga child in conflict with the law. Again, ulitin natin yung Philippine Correctional System Tri-Bureau natin. So we have the DOJ, the DILG, nandito pala si Ma'am Pepe ko. Namiss siguro ako ni Ma'am Celine. Nandito siya ngayon. Hindi sila makamubon sa boses ko. Okay, so nakikinig si Ma'am Celine, kaya galingan nyo daw. Okay, so again, ang Philippine Correctional System natin, that is yung Tri-Bureau. So we have the DOJ. Of course, they are in charge sa mga national prisoners. Then, nandyan rin yung under sa kanya, yung Bucor or Bureau of Correction. Then, CDILG naman, they are in charge also class yung nandyan na belong si BGMP or under si BGMP, wherein sila yung in charge for CDM, City, District, and Municipal Jails, as well as yung sa provincial jails kung saan ang may supervision and control doon is the provincial government. Then the DSWD naman, of course, nandyan na belong or they are in charge with the custody, yung children in conflict with the law, kung saan nandyan na belong si Bureau of Child and Youth Welfare. Okay, naintindihan ba? Okay, so nandyan pala yung estudyante ko eh. Okay, ma-pressure tayo dito. Nandito si Lynn. Okay na ba? Naintindihan, class? Okay, so let's start with question number 1. Di ko alam ang mga student ko saan na yon. Sa dami ninyo, wala pang 1/4 ang nag-attend. Okay, let's start with question number 1. Okay, so syempre again, sa pagsasagot, alam nyo na yan. So i-skip natin. So let's start with question number 1. Okay. So dito tayo, medyo hindi pala makita, no? Okay, dito. Okay, number 1. So can you comment down your answer sa comment section natin, class? So the rules and methods employed by probationer. So dito, what is the maximum number of minor violations that would result in the revocation of the probation order? So ilang violations na meron, class, under our rules? Letter A, 5 violations. Letter B, 3 violations. Letter C, 4 violations. And letter D, 2 violations. Again, ang pinag-uusapan natin dito is yung mga minor violations lang. Kasi we have major and minor violations, class, in the probation. So ilang violations ang meron or ang makomit ngayon, o maximum ang tinitingnan natin, hindi minimum. Sa minor violation kapag marirevoke na ngayon ang probation order na binigay ng korte sa kanya. Okay, how many? Okay, you can comment down your answer para makita ko rin. Then, ma-discuss natin right after. Okay, so comment down. Okay, yung sa ating online world, of course sa Facebook, you can comment also your answer sa comment section natin para makita ko rin ang sagot ninyo. Then don't forget to share the live. Okay. Sige. Okay, how many violations kapag pinag-uusapan natin yung minor violations? Bravo, 3. Okay, so parang wala ko nakitang tamang sagot dito. Okay, again, ang pinag-uusapan natin dito is the maximum. So, how many? Okay, how many violations are there ang kailangan, okay, for the revocation of the probation order? Okay, letter D, alpha. Okay, ang sagot natin dyan, that would be, okay, letter D. I mean, that is letter A, that is 5 violations. Again, ang sagot natin, class, that is alpha, that would be 5 violations kasi the number of violations that can lead to the revocation of the probation order, nakalagay yan under Section 15, class, on the rules on probation methods and procedures as the Manual of Operation ng PPA or the Philippine Probation and Parole Administration. Nakalagay dyan specifically, a probation order may be revoked for the commission of 5 minor violations of the conditions of probation. Again, ulitin natin. Specifically, class, nakalagay dito under Section 15, a probation order may be revoked for the commission of 5 minor violations of the conditions of the probation. So again, ang sagot natin doon, that would be letter A. So 5 minor violations ang pinaka-maximum for the probationer, class. For him or her to be revoked yung kanyang tinatawag natin na probation order na na-release or nabigay ng korte. Okay, naintindihan? Okay, so may nakakuha ba ng tamang sagot? Okay, so again, that is 5 minor violations. Okay, balikan nyo yung notes niyo ulit ha. Kung wala doon, you try to search kapag in case na mawala. Okay, let's explain. Okay, let's discuss question number 2. Okay, let's answer. So this is a temporary withholding of sentence before or after judgment as where the judge is not satisfied with a verdict or evidence is suspicious or indictment is insufficient, or sometimes it may be small felony or any favorable circumstances appear in the criminal's character. Ibig sabihin, hindi sapat ang ebidensya, or ibig sabihin, merong mga wala naman siyang previous tawag nito, conviction na nangyari. Then the evidence obtained is suspicious class. Kung yung judge is temporarily, i-withhold niya muna yung magiging verdict niya. Okay? So, anong tawag natin dito? Letter A, reprieve. Letter B, executive reprieve. Letter C, judicial reprieve. And letter D, legislative reprieve. Okay, what is your answer for question number 2? Okay, anong sagot natin dito, class? Please answer. Okay, so ayan, the temporary withholding of sentence. Ipagpaliban muna or, okay, so ang sagot ng iba is reprieve. May sumagot, okay, majority answered Charlie. Okay, so what will be the best answer for this question? Okay, so tandaan nyo class, kapag yung judge is not satisfied with a verdict, from the word itself, judge, so meaning tanggalin nyo na agad si executive reprieve. Kasi ang nagbibigay ng reprieve or the executive reprieve is the President of the Philippines, di ba? From the term itself, executive. So di ba sa executive clemency, yung reprieve class, that is the temporary postponement of sentence na binibigay ngayon ni President class para ma-review niya pa ulit yung penalty na ibibigay, kung pwede pa pala i-commute or magbigay siya ng commutation of sentence. Kasi baka masyadong harsh or baka nagkamali yung verdict na binigay sa kanya. So that is the purpose of reprieve, the temporary stay, or that is the temporary postponement of sentence until the executive or the president can review the case kung may nagkamali ba or pwede ba siya mabigyan ng pwede ba siya ma-reduce into commutation of sentence. Kasi ang reprieve that is applicable kapag yung sentence mo na na-obtain is punishable by death. Nakuha ba? Okay, so tanggalin natin si reprieve and executive reprieve kasi ang nagbibigay niyan is basically the president or the chief executive. Then, ang pagpipilian natin dyan is between judicial and legislative reprieve. Since si judge ang hindi satisfied sa verdict, then the evidence is suspicious and the indictment is insufficient. Ibig sabihin, hindi sapat. So, temporarily i-withhold niya muna or hindi niya muna ibibigay yung verdict na yon. Okay, so ang sagot natin dyan, ang binibigay ni judge for the temporary withholding of sentence kasi nangyayari yan during the sentencing stage. So, after the judgment, so that is a judicial reprieve. That is letter C. Nakuha ba? Again, ulitin natin. Ang sagot natin dyan, that is a judicial reprieve that is given by the judge kapag nakita niya na the evidence is suspicious, he is not satisfied with the verdict, then the indictment is insufficient. Then isang tinitingnan pa ni judge yan is kapag yung convict is hindi naman or wala namang previous conviction. So that is also one of the basis na i-temporarily withhold nyo yun yung sentence. So ang sagot natin dyan, that is letter C, that is a judicial reprieve. Naintindihan ba? Kasi nga si judge ang nagbibigay. So, bakit may sumagot ng executive reprieve? Kasi kapag magiging executive reprieve yan or maging reprieve lang siya, basically, kapag si president ang nagbigay niyan. Naintindihan ba? Okay? Okay na? Naintindihan? Okay, so ang sagot natin dyan, that is letter C, that is a judicial reprieve. Naintindihan? Okay, so ayan, para mas maintindihan ninyo. Okay, so again, ang sagot natin dito, that is letter C, judicial reprieve. Don't forget Okay, next, let's proceed sa question number 4. Okay, tayo matransfer. Number 3 pa pala, class. Okay, so why is probation service analogous or meaning similar to parole service? Again, why is probation service analogous or similar to parole service? Letter A, both have similar investigation, which is the PSI and the PPI, and supervision or the PPO functions. And letter B, both services are performed by the prosecutors. Letter C, both services are performed by alcoholics. And letter D, both services are under the courts. Okay, why is it similar, yung probation and parole class? Kasi 'di ba meron yung PSI, that is post-sentence investigation report. Then we have the post-parole. Okay, so ano yung sagot natin dito? Why is probation similar to the ano? Okay, so why is it similar? Okay, ano magiging sagot natin? That would be, okay, letter A. So again, majority got the correct answer kasi similar sila kasi nga, bakit ayaw nyo mag-transfer? Wait lang class ah. Okay, sige. Okay, so both have similar investigation. Of course, we have the PSI and of course the PPI and the supervision, the PPO functions. Okay, so under sila sa parole and probation officer. So that's why they have similar investigations technique or strategy. Then of course, they are under the supervision of the parole and probation officer. Okay, that is letter A. So majority got the correct answer. So ibig sabihin, majority na-simplify natin or naintindihan ninyo ang ating or yung discussion yan. Nandito kasi ako sa Baguio ngayon. Then, non-stop yung ulan, no? Pero okay lang naman. Okay, sa ano natin. Okay, so again, ang sagot natin dito, that is letter A. Both have similar investigation when it comes sa PSI and the PPI. Then, of course, yung supervision is under the PPO functions. That is letter A. Okay, next, number 4. Let's answer this one. So, Jmar, a convict, is serving a prison sentence when a major calamity strikes the region. After the calamity ends, the authorities declare the conclusion of the crisis. So, the convict voluntarily surrenders 36 hours after this declaration. So, based on the law, what benefit can the convict will receive? Again, he surrenders 36 hours. Then, he is already a convict. Letter A deduction of 2/5 of their sentence. Letter B, a deduction of 1/5 of their sentence. Letter C, no deduction in the sentence. Or letter D, a full pardon. So again, meron tayong tinatawag na stall or na special time allowance for loyalty. So that would be your basis. So syempre hindi kayo pwede magkamali doon. Kasi that is already gasgas na yan. So stall. S-T-A-L ang klasa. Bakit tayo magano? Okay, what would be an answer? Anong sagot natin? Okay. Saan yung iba? Okay, Bravo. Oh, bakit may mga sumagot ng Bravo, may sumagot ng Alpha? Okay, so sabi niya dito, yung special time allowance for loyalty or tinatawag natin na STAL or stall, that is a deduction from a prisoner sentence. Ibig sabihin, that is granted ngayon class sa mga nag-evade ng kanilang sentence during the what you call class specific circumstances. Then they surrender to the authorities after the proclamation of the proclamation of the passing away of the crisis or calamities class. Kapag sabihin natin 36 hours after the declaration, how many ang maibibigay niya? Okay, so ilan ang babawas natin dito? Ang deduction natin? Okay, kapag 1/5, di ba, is granted kapag he surrender, within 48 hours, or 2/5 naman remained in the confinement during the calamities. Syempre, yung ating ano. So, ano magiging sagot natin dito? So, the convict kasi balikan ay, bakit naka-close? Voluntary surrender 36 hours after the declaration. Okay, based on the law, what benefit can the convict receive? Ano magiging sagot natin? Bakit may sumagot ng Charlie? No deduction. 36 36 hours man. So anong sagot? Okay, that would be 1/5 pa rin. Pasok pa rin 'yun sa tinatawag natin na 48 hours. Bakit naging 2/5? Ang 2/5 is when the person remains in the confinement or during the existence of calamities, he remains in the confinement class. Ibig sabihin doon sa area ng ng jail or the prison. So he remain during the existence of calamities. Hindi ibig sabihin na doon talaga sa loob, pwede namang lumabas siya, pero hindi lang siya lumabas within the area ng prison cells. Naintindihan ba? So again, ulitin natin. So that is a deduction of 1/5. Kasi pasok rin naman yan sa tinatawag natin na 48 hours. Again, ulitin natin, class. So a deduction of 1/5 of sentence is granted, class, kapag nag-surrender yung tao or yung convict within 48 hours after the passing of calamity. Kapag halimbawa sabi ni President, okay, pwede na kayong bumalik kasi wala na yung calamities, class, or wala na medyo na-slow down or wala na talaga at all. So meaning, within 48 hours, kapag nagbumalik siya, he surrender himself up to the authority. So he will be deducted, class, sa kanyang sentence, yung tinatawag natin na 1/5 of sentence. Kasi nga, he surrenders himself within 48 hours after the passing of calamities. Then 2/5 naman kapag the prisoner remained in the confinement during the existence of calamities, class, or yung mga circumstances na meron. So again, ulitin natin. So that is a deduction of 1/5 kapag within 48 hours, he surrenders himself after the declaration of the passing of the calamities. Then 2/5 naman ang deduction, class, kapag the prisoners choose to be remain in the prison cells during the existence or during the calamity. So again, that is letter B, a deduction of 1/5. Naintindihan ba? Bakit marami nagkamali dito? What happened? Anong nangyari? Anong nangyari sa ating dalawa? O, delikado, no? Bakit medyo hindi kayo familiar sa tanong na to or familiar naman? Okay na ba? Naintindihan? Na-simplify or may question kayo dito? Okay, naintindihan ba? Naintindihan? Para mas maunawaan ninyo or hindi na kayo familiar lang. Okay. So familiar kayo sa stall pero hindi nyo hindi lang sa hindi lang okay, sige. Okay. Sige, wala tayong magagawa doon. Okay, nakuha. Okay, so kasi bakit maraming nagkamali dito. Okay, next we have another one. Number 5. Let's have. Okay, this service is an alternative to the traditional face-to-face visitation between PDL and respective families. So the service enables the PDL to connect with his or her family through a supervised video call and chat. Letter A, para-legal program. Letter B, virtual dalaw. Letter C, e-dalaw. And letter D, interfaith program. So what is that? What program is this? Okay, so ang question na to, class, that is under the core programs of the BGMP, di ba? So yung meron tayong tinatawag na provisions of basic needs, health services, educational program, yung skills training enhancement program, then livelihood, the behavioral management modification program, the interfaith, the cultural and sports program, the paralegal program, and of course, the e-Dalaw. Okay, so isa-isahin natin yan, class, para mas maunawaan ninyo. Pero of course, alam ko na nakuha nyo yung sagot dito. Okay, sabi niya dito, this service wherein that is the alternative, class, to a traditional face-to-face visitation between PDL and the respective families. Siyempre, class, minsan, hindi kasi pwedeng dumalaw kapag there is a jail outbreak, no? Or merong, kumbaga, hindi sila pwedeng dalawin sa oras na yon. So, this service enables the PDL to connect with his or her family through a supervised video call and chat. Actually, class, hindi to siya dahilan nung nag-COVID. Dati pa talaga meron na tayong tinatawag na e-Dalaw. Okay? So, pero syempre, mas naggamit na gamit yan during COVID-19 pandemic. So, unahin muna natin yung tinatawag natin. Again, ang sagot natin dyan, that is the e-Dalaw. So, that is letter C. So, again, ulitin natin, ang e-Dalaw, that is an alternative to a traditional face-to-face visitation between the PDL and their respective families, class. Ang ano kasi ng e-Dalaw, that is to enables the PDL to connect with his or her family through a supervised video call and chat. Pero meron ding time limit dyan na natin, class. So ang purpose na yan, or na-conceptualize yung e-Dalaw, class, that is to cater yung mga PDL, yung family nila cannot go to the jail or actual visit na tinatawag natin because of the long distance ng jail sa bahay nila or yung workplace ng family members nila. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng e-Dalaw. That is the concept. Pero syempre, ginagamit rin natin ang e-Dalaw, class, during the jail lockdown by reason of, halimbawa, sabihin natin public emergency or merong sakit na kumakalat where the visitation is totally suspended. So, syempre, all PDL are allowed to use the e-Dalaw to communicate with their families, class. Pero meron tinatawag na rotation basis. Hindi ibig sabihin na ikaw lang yung gagamit niyan kapag sa araw na yon. Meron din tayong rotation or time limit na doon. Pero of course, that is, tandaan nyo, ang purpose ng e-Dalaw, that is an alternative to a traditional face-to-face kapag hindi makapunta yung families niya doon sa lugar kasi nga because of the long distance and the family is working in the long distance places. Then ginagamit rin ang e-Dalaw during the jail breakdown and by reason of public health emergency. Nakuha ba? Naintindihan? Okay, so wala tayong of course, ang e-Dalaw, okay, that is equivalent to a virtual Dalaw. Parang virtually nagkita kayo, no? Then, pag sinabi naman nating paralegal program, i-simplify ko lang, class, ang paralegal program naman, of course, that is also intended ngayon to address yung tinatawag natin na overcrowding in the jail facilities. So, again, ulitin natin, class. Iyan ko na lang siguro. Magta-type tayo dito para mas pwede ninyong ma-take note yan. Okay, so ang purpose ng paralegal program, that is to address... ayaw niya. Okay, ang purpose niyan, that is to address yung tinatawag natin, class, na overcrowding in jail facilities. So, ayan ang purpose ng... sorry, bakit mali ang spelling? Okay, yan ang purpose ng paralegal program. So PDL are assisted or in availing yung tinatawag natin, class, na different of modes of early release as much as possible. Kung mas maganda na ma-release natin na sila as early, so meron tayong tinatawag na paralegal program, class. So syempre magkakandak sila ng mga seminars and continuous orientations, class, para maibigay yung mga remedies ngayon for the convict, class, for their early release, class. So, syempre, nandyan yung tinatawag natin na paralegal counseling and case follow-up by the jail paralegal officers kung saan binibigyan sila ng pagkakataon, class, na kung pwede, i-release sila ng mas early. Okay? So, hindi yon masusunod yung mga, hindi talaga yung years na ipamamalagi nila. So, that is a paralegal program. Again, ang purpose ng paralegal program is to address the overcrowding in jail facilities. So, paano natin ngayon, class, ma-address yung overcrowding in the jail facilities? Siyempre, bibigyan natin or magbibigay ang government ang jail facilities na mga different modes of releases or the different modes of early release kung pwede silang ma-release ng mas maaga. So that is a paralegal program. Naintindihan ba? Then pag sinabi naman nating the cultural and sports program na kung saan that is to promote, ang purpose niyan is to promote yung tinatawag natin na camaraderie among PDL. Siyempre, para ma-boost rin yung tinatawag natin na yung kanilang self-confidence, ma-share nila yung kanilang mga talents, and of course, yung positive entertainment. Kakanta, sasayaw, di ba? Then sa loob ng kulungan kasi class, sineselebrate rin nila yung mga socio-cultural events like yung mga birthdays, then Valentine's Day, so Mother's Day and Father's Day, Christmas, then of course Ramadan, Easter, local festivals and other similar activities kung saan binibigyan sila ng pagkakataon to share their cultural talents and to form a band, a positive band and entertainment with other PDL. So that is the purpose of the cultural and sports program. Yung tinatawag naman natin na Interfaith, from the word itself, Interfaith, that is to provide the opportunity class sa mga PDL to practice their faith. Siyempre, while they are under the custody without discrimination. Siyempre, kung ano yung kanilang paniniwala bago sila pumasok sa kulungan, so they have the chance to practice their faith while in custody. Siyempre, the BGMP, meron silang chaplains and imams kung saan magbibigay or magpo-provide ng different religious services. That is only intended yung mga sa mga celebration, communal, spiritual counseling, and others class. So yan ang purpose ng Interfaith program, kung saan every PDL have the opportunity to practice their faith while under the custody without discrimination. Kung saan ano man yung kanilang ano man yung kanilang religion or ano yung pinapaniwalaan nila bago sila na ano. So they have hindi sila pwedeng i-discriminate kung ipo-practice nila yon sa loob ng kulungan. That is the Interfaith program. Then isa rin yung behavioral management modification program class. So it implements yung therapeutic community modality program or the TCMP na mamaya i-explain na natin. So ang purpose kasi ng TCMP, that is to positively change the thinking and behavior of that person or the PDL through the structured group processing, kung saan yung kanilang street behavior or yung asal kalye or asal street behavior nga, mapalitan yon or ma-change, in other words. So yan ang purpose ng behavioral management or modification program. Then yung livelihood naman, syempre from the livelihood, yung jail facilities ngayon will present yung mga programs class na income generating activities kung saan they can earn for their personal for their personal growth or yung mga personal expenses. Then kapag they can support their families kapag may sobra class. So syempre gagawa sila doon ng mga industrial products katulad ng mga bags, 'di ba? Yung nakikita ninyo sa mga ng BGMP minsan sa Bucor rin, kung saan binebenta nila yung mga gawa ng mga PDLs natin. So pwede kayong mag-order online, 'di ba? Then pwede nyo kayong mag-order noon. Then yung proceeds or yung kita noon is pupunta doon sa tao or yung sa PDL na gumawa noon. Then pwede niya pang gastos yon sa mga gastusin niya sa loob ng kulungan, as well as pwede rin niya ma-provide yon sa mga families niya outside prison. Kahit malayo siya, so yun ang purpose ng livelihood program. Iba naman yung tinatawag natin na skills training and enhancement program. Ang purpose naman yan is to yung tinatawag natin na technical and vocational skills, na kung saan binibigay yan ng TESDA, okay, yung Technical Education and Skills Authority or TESDA. So kung saan yung PDL can able to earn yung national certification. Mabuta pa yung mga PDL, no? Magkakaroon sila ng TESDA. Kayo na nasa labas kayo, wala kayong TESDA certification. So yan ang purpose ng Skills and Training Enhancement Program, kung saan yung mga PDLs na na-meet nila yung tinatawag natin na requirements ng TESDA can syempre magkakaroon ng national certification at the end of the training. So yan ang tinatawag natin na skills training and enhancement program na ginagawa. Then educational, syempre ang purpose ng educational class to provide opportunities sa mga PDL to achieve their mandatory education. Again, ang purpose ng educational program, that is to provide the PDL class the opportunities to achieve the mandatory education na kinakailangan nila. Siyempre, ina-adapt dyan sa loob yung ALS, yung tinatawag natin na Alternative Learning System, kung saan yung that is in coordination with the Department of Education, yung mga PDL class, kaya may gumagraduate sa loob ng elementary and high school diplomas, they can earn that sa loob ng kulungan kapag hindi sila nakapagtapos bago sila nakulong. So yung mga teachers dyan, syempre the jail-based ALS teacher as provided by the DepEd, or who are LPT also, syempre they are professional teachers class, then they are trained on the instructional process or technique na pagbigay ng education doon sa loob ng kulungan. Then syempre kapag walang available na ALS teacher na may bibigay ng DepEd, so meron kaya 'di ba nagkaroon tayo ng tinatawag natin sa GCTA or the Good Conduct Time Allowance. So kasi yung lahat ng mga PDL na enrolled ngayon class sa Alternative Learning System can earn their respected time allowance for teaching, studying, and mentoring, or yung tinatawag natin na TASTM or TASTM, pursuant to the Republic Act 10592. Ibig sabihin, nakalagay naman yan sa batas, so they have allotted time for yung tinatawag natin na yung teaching. So again, ulitin natin class, yung lahat ng PDL na naka-enrolled sa ALS learning system sa loob ng jail facilities can earn their respective time allowance for teaching, studying, and mentoring, yung TASTM, kung we're in that is pursuant or in accordance with Republic Act 10592 class. Okay? So yan ang tinatawag natin na educational program. Then yung health services, syempre yung ang purpose naman yan, that is to prevent, to promote, and to treat yung mga illnesses na mga na mga PDLs natin. So they will undergo medical assessment upon admission sa jail class. Meron ng titingnan ngayon kung meron ba silang mga incurable disease or na nakakahawa, or safe ba sila ihalo sa ibang mga PDLs. That is ang purpose ng health services to maintain the physical health or the physical health of the PDL, kung saan they are allowed class yung magpa-araw, then of course yung mga physical exercises, magba-basketball, 'di ba, and so on sa loob ng jail facilities. Okay, so ayan, maraming benefits sa loob ng kulungan kapag ka. Then yung core programs pa rin, na isa rin yung provisions of the basic needs. Yung pinakauna dyan na core programs of the BGMP is the provision of the basic needs. Yung basic needs, basically class, lahat ng PDL are provided, ilang meals ang meron sila sa loob ng kulungan. So they are provided with 3 meals, okay? So again, tatlong meals ang meron tayo pagdating sa kulungan class, that is a core program. Siyempre, papakainin pa rin sila, di ba? Makukulong sila pero kakain pa rin sila. So siyempre, we have breakfast, lunch, and supper, o yung tinatawag natin na dinner. So dapat nakalagay sa batas rin natin, there is an adequate supply of water wherein available dapat yan sa lahat ng PDL at all times. Pero at the current state of our correctional institution, syempre medyo hindi yan nasusunod, no? So of course, yung lahat ng PDL class is will be given yung tinatawag nila yung uniform class, kangkong na may asin. Totoo yun. So they will be issued yung PDL uniform consisting of yellow shirt and brown jogging pants. So di ba nakakulong ka lang, meron ka ng yellow shirt and brown jogging pants. Yeah. May hygiene kit rin daw na ibibigay dyan. So sa monthly, of course they have yung mga pagkain na kinakain nila, that is coming from the government, whether it is local government, sa mga NGO natin, then sa mga business sectors, yung mga donations kung baga class. So kung wala masyadong maraming donation, so wala rin sila masyadong kakainin class. So magpapakulong ka pa ba? Pero again, nakalagay sa core programs yung provisions of basic needs kung saan all PDLs are provided with 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and supper. Then they are provided with the PDL uniform, then yung mga hygiene kit. So dapat maibigay yon. So that is provision of basic needs. Then health services, lahat ng mga PDL class will undergo medical assistant upon admission to the jail. That is to make sure to prevent, to promote, and of course to treat yung mga illnesses and rehabilitate yung offender. Sa educational program, which is yung focus class ng rehabilitation process natin, kung saan they will provide mandatory opportunities for the PDL class to achieve their mandatory education. Kaya nga, may gumagraduate or they can earn their elementary and high school diplomas kapag hindi sila nakagraduate before sila nakulong. Then in the skills training and enhancement program, kung saan lahat ng PDL can learn and equip themselves with a technical and vocational skills class. Kung saan kapag lumabas sila sa prison, they can start their own business and they can find employment right away kapag lumabas sila sa loob ng kulungan. Then of course, ang livelihood program kung saan tinuturuan sila na gumawa ng mga industrial products para they can earn for themselves, para ma-provide nila yung mga expenses sa loob ng kulungan, and they can support their families outside the prisons. So kaya nga may mga nagbebenta ng mga crafts nila or yung mga bags and so on na nakikita ninyo online, and pwede rin kayong mag-order online. Okay, so yan. Then, of course, behavioral management modification program kung saan to modify or to change para mabigay natin yung positive change towards the behavior and the thinking of the PDL class para yung street behavior niya is ma-erase natin yon agad-agad. Then, yung interfaith program kung saan yung lahat ng PDLs have the opportunity ngayon to practice their faith without discrimination, which is subject to the approval ngayon yung gagawin nila sa jail rules rin. Then cultural and sports program kung saan binibigyan sila ngayon to showcase their cultural talents and to boost their confidence class. Kumaga, so yung mga celebration na yon. Then paralegal program, ang purpose ng paralegal is to address the overcrowding in the jail facilities kung saan bibigyan sila ng mga different alternatives for their early releases. Then the idalaw naman, that is the alternative na yon sa traditional face-to-face visitation kung saan that is they can contact their families kasi nga malayo ngayon sa jail facilities or hindi ka na able to visit on-site. Then kapag nagkaroon ng jail breakdown or jail lockdown plus due to the public health emergency, so that is an alternative ngayon for the traditional face-to-face dalaw or the traditional face-to-face visitation. Naintindihan ba? Okay? So I hope na naintindihan ninyo yung aking discussion class kasi kung nakinig lang kayo, hindi kayo talaga mape-perfect nyo ang correction pagdating sa board exam. Very basic ang correction kasi lahat ng nadi-discuss natin, lahat ng tanungan nila, kinukuha nila sa Bucor at sa BJMP manual. Nandun nila lahat, di ba? So, depende na lang sa'yo kung ayaw mong i-comprehend yung sinasabi ko. Nandun na, gisimplify ko na lahat class, yung rationale behind, bakit ganon. Okay, so ayun, naintindihan ba? Okay, so yung cultural programs na yun, pag na-master nyo yun class is, wala na akong problema. Okay, so alam ko na kayang-kaya yung sagutin yan pagdating sa board exam. Okay, that is the, the core program. So ang sagot natin dito, that is the idalaw. That is an alternative to a traditional face-to-face visitation between the PDL and of course their respective families. So yan ang tinatawag natin na idalaw. Okay, so I hope naintindihan niyo yan. So lahat sa isang question pala, no, number 5 pa lang tayo. Ang dami kong sinabi. Bida-bida ka sir. Okay, sige. Okay, next tayo. Number 6. Kaya ang gusto ko, i-encourage ko kayo kapag may rationalization, dapat nandun kayo kasi nga sinasummarize ko from the start to finish yung mga discussion. So lahat ng subject na dinidiscuss ng mga lecturers ninyo at dinidiscuss ko from the start to sinesimplify ko yan lahat-lahat. Kaya nga sabi ko bakit hindi naka-ano yung nag-attend ngayon. Baka hindi pa naka-move on sa election. Okay, so sayang class kasi mas maganda yung agad-agad yung marinig yun. Okay na? No more question for number 5. Let's proceed for number 6. Okay, a convict escaped during a natural calamity. After the calamity ended, the convict failed to return within 48 hours of the official declaration of the passing of calamity. However, the convict voluntarily surrendered 5 days later. So what legal application applies in this case? So ano yung magiging sagot natin dito? Okay, anong sagot natin? Okay, so ano mangyayari? Kapag the convict failed to return within 48 hours, okay, ano mangyayari? Kasi diba, he evaded his sentence. So that's why ang magiging sagot natin dyan, that is Bravo. Okay, majority answered Bravo. So that is correct. So the mitigating or the convict will face charges under Article 158 but will also be granted the mitigating circumstance of voluntary or for voluntary surrendering. Okay, that's why ang sagot natin dyan, that is Bravo. So ang pag sinabi nating Article 158, that is the evasion of the service of sentence. Kasi nga, tumakas lang siya, so dapat expected na babalik siya kasi nga hindi pa niya tapos ma-serve ang kanyang sentence. So the answer is Bravo. That is, the convict will face charges under Article 158 but will also be granted the mitigating circumstance of voluntary surrender. Kaya sabihin natin nag-voluntary surrender siya, meron tayong tinatawag na STOL, the Special Time Allowance for Loyalty. 1/5 deduction kapag within 48 hours, he surrendered himself up to the authorities after the passing of calamities. Then kapag he choose to stay in the confinement class during the existence of calamities, so that's why he will be provided or he is entitled with 2/5 deduction of sentence. Naintindihan ba? Okay, naintindihan? Okay, so the majority got the correct answer. So the answer is Bravo. So the convict will face charges under Article 158 of the revised penal code. Next. Okay, so this refers to the administration of programs for the character formation and inmate necessary for effective interpersonal relationship in the prison community. Actually, na-discuss ko na to kanina, so let's try to answer na lang. So sabi niya, ang purpose niya is the character formation. And of course, to provide interpersonal relationship or effective interpersonal relationship in the prison community. So, ano yung ma-establish natin? Yung relationship ng every PDLs to other PDLs. Anong sagot natin dyan? Okay, so character formation, the answer is, okay, Bravo. So, very good. That is behavior modification program. So again, tanan nyo, pag sinabi natin behavior modification program, ang purpose niyan is to change or to yung tinatawag natin na to change or to positively change the behavior of the PDLs class. Meaning, dapat naging positive thinker sila, yung kanilang behavior is naging positive thinker. Then pro-social values, nagkaroon na siya ng good decision making and of course positive coping mechanism or positive thinker na siya. So that is the behavior modification or to erase yung tinatawag natin na street behavior niya para syempre he will be a new law-abiding citizen. Again, that is character formation. So that is behavior modification program. Nakuha ba? Okay, so ang ganda ng ganitong tanungan, no? So tapos hindi kayo magtataka ka ba, ay sir, bakit naka word by word ang tanungan sa board exam nandun sa mga presentation? Kasi ng class, syempre, hindi naman sila pwedeng gumawa ng mga tanong na wala sa source natin, di ba? So kaya magtataka ka bakit parang naka-copy-paste ang question pagdating sa board exam. Ganun lang yun, di ba? Pero kung wala kang pinag-aralan o hindi na-simplify yan sa'yo, mahihirapan ka sagutin. Okay na ba? So walang violent reaction dito. So lahat ba nakakuha ng tamang sagot? You can comment kung halimbawa baka nagkamali ako ng sinabi or in case lang naman na na nagkamali. Okay, 'di ba? So baka i-bash ako ni hindi ko pala nakita nagkamali. So again, that is letter B, behavior modification program. Okay, next, another number 8. Okay, it is the complementary component of safekeeping in custodial function. It ensures that inmates are completely incapacitated from further committing criminal acts and have been totally cut off from their criminal networks or contacts in free society. So while serving sentence inside the premises of the National Penitentiary. Letter A, reformation of national inmates. Letter B, security of national inmates. Letter C, safekeeping of national PDLs. And letter D, the moral and spiritual program. What is your answer? Okay, anong sagot natin dyan, class? What is that? Okay, what is the answer? Okay, sabi niya it is the complementary component of safekeeping in custodial function. So, it ensures that inmates are completely incapacitated. So, syempre titingnan natin, i-double check natin. Okay, so that is security of national inmates. So again, that is Bravo. So again, Bravo. Okay, so bakit Charlie ang sagot ninyo? So again, ang sagot natin dyan, that is security of national inmates kasi sabi niya, it ensures that inmates are completely incapacitated, meaning class, dapat nakakulong sila. Okay, it ensures that inmates are completely incapacitated from further committing criminal acts. So, meaning class, yung kanilang contact from the outside, halimbawa may grupo sila sa labas, so dapat ma-cut off yun. Okay, so yan ang tinatawag natin na security of the national inmates. Okay, so that is letter B, security of national inmates class. Then, there is a sub-question for this. Let's see ang sagot natin for this, for another question. Okay, this method ay hindi pala klase. So, i-discuss ko na lang. No choice tayo. I-discuss ko lahat na nakalagay dito. So, again, ulitin natin ang meron tayong tinatawag class na mandates of the Bureau of Correction. Unang-una dyan is the safekeeping of the national PDLs. So, again, ulitin natin from the word safekeeping. Ibig sabihin, kailangan natin ikulong, di ba? So, pero, of course, i-explain natin yung isa-isa. So, in the safekeeping of the national PDLs class, that is anchored also or in congruence with the United Nations standard minimum rules of the treatment of the prisoners class. Kung saan yung sitwasyon dapat ng national PDLs or yung mga bilanggo natin dapat maibigay sa kanila yung tinatawag natin na decent and adequate necessities, yung food, quarters nila, water, clothing, and medicine. Then dapat yung communication and visitation mabigay rin para rin sa kanila and of course para rin sa kanilang pamilya na dadalaw. So kung saan ibibigay yung lahat ng comfort rin kumbaga kahit nga nakakommit sila ng krimen. So that is the safekeeping of the national PDLs. Then in the security of the national inmates, kung saan ito yung purpose niyan is to completely incapacitated yung criminal from further committing criminal acts, kung saan yung protection against illegal organized armed group, yung kanyang contact na mga tao o yung kanyang grupo sa labas class, makat off yun totally. So that is the purpose of the security of the national inmates. Kumbaga hindi na siya ngayon makapag-commit ng further criminal activities or criminal acts. Then, aside from that, we have also the reformation of the national inmates, yung ALPA. Okay, yung sa reformation of the national inmates, ang core objective niyan is the reformation programs of the Bureau of Correction class. kung saan yung mga destructive personality nila, dapat mabago yon or dapat ma-rehabilitate sila or maitama natin yung landas nila. That is the reformation of the national inmates. Para prepare natin sila when they go back to the community, kung saan sila originally nanggaling. So that is the purpose of the reformation of the national inmates. Then the moral and spiritual program of the Bucor or the Bureau of Correction, that is to focus class yung tinatawag natin, kasi di ba ang in charge dyan is yung Directorate for Spiritual and Welfare or yung tinatawag natin na DMSW, kung saan they will practice their own religion and beliefs or paniniwala nila. Then of course that is in accordance with the rules and measures na kung mga pinapatupad ng Bureau of Corrections natin. Then aside from that, hindi kasali diyan or hindi ko nadagdag yung tinatawag natin na educational and training program, kung saan ang in charge naman dyan class is the Directorate for Education and Training or the DET class, kung saan may mga yung formal and non-formal education and skills development is maibibigay ngayon sa mga national offenders or national inmates natin. Okay, then of course work and livelihood meron rin, sports and recreation, then behavior modification, and so on. Pero i-discuss natin yan on the next question. So again, ang sagot natin dito, it ensures that inmates are completely incapacitated from further committing criminal acts, or ika-cut off natin totally yung kanilang criminal networks from the outside of the prison. So that is the security of national inmates. Okay, so again, naiintindihan ba? Okay, so naiintindihan class ang security of national inmates, yung apat na to. May question kayo sa apat na choices para before we can proceed, para pagdating sa final coaching natin class or sa coaching natin, hindi na ako uulit pa. Hindi na ako uulit dapat sa national coach, sa national natin, sa coaching natin or sa final coaching, dapat na-master nyo na lahat yan. So nasa mastery stage na tayo. Okay? So ayan. Ayaw ko pa naman ng paulit-ulit. Okay, sige. That is letter B ang sagot natin dyan. Okay, next, dito tayo sa another question. Okay, number 9. So this method in the treatment and rehabilitation of drug dependence, which avails of the services and skills of a team composed of psychiatrists, psychologists, social worker, occupational therapists, and other related disciplines in collaboration with the family and drug dependent. So lahat dyan, nilagay ko na yung A to F. Pero ang choices sa board exam class is 4 lang Pero nilagay ko na dyan lahat-lahat para ma-explain ko yan mamaya sa inyo one by one. Okay, what is your answer? Okay, so i-on ko muna yung ilaw class Okay, so sagot muna kayo dyan. Okay. Let's answer this one. Okay, anong sagot ninyo? Multidisciplinary. Okay. May alpha kay Allen, therapeutic. Yung iba is multidisciplinary. Okay, so ang sagot natin dito, sabi niya class, it is a method in the treatment and rehabilitation of drug dependence which avails of the services and skills of a team. Ibig sabihin, composition ng psychiatrist, psychologist, social worker, occupational therapy is another related discipline class. Kapag nag-collaborate sila, yung different discipline na yan, so ang sagot natin dyan, that is different discipline yan eh. So that is a multidisciplinary team approach. So ang sagot natin dyan, that is letter F. Kasi nakalagay na mismo, it is a multidisciplinary team approach. Kung saan yung mga drug dependents can avail yung mga services, kung saan yung kumbaga siya, ma-rehabilitate siya through the efforts of the different experts in their discipline class. So makipag-collaborate rin sa kanilang family or yung mga drug dependents natin. So para mabago siya. So that's why that is a multidisciplinary. From the word itself, multidiscipline, or ibig sabihin that is the collaboration of the different experts in the field or in the different discipline. So that is a multidisciplinary team approach. So that is ALPA. So meron din tayong tinatawag na therapeutic community approach views, kung saan class from the words of therapeutic. So that is also yung attitude, yung tinatawag natin na attitudinal change and foster behavioral change yung tinatawag natin para mabago siya class. Okay, mai-guide natin siya doon para babalik siya doon sa kanyang dating pag-uugali or yung kanyang buhay, kasi that is one also of the drug treatment modality na meron tayo. Then, pag sinabi nating Hazelden, Minnesota model views, kung saan paborito yan pagdating sa board exam, hindi nawawala si Bravo, no? Yung si Hazelden, Minnesota model views class. So, ang purpose niyan, ipapaintindi sa kanya na the drug taking is addiction, or addiction is a disease. Yan siya, illness yan siya. So again, ulitin natin, sa Hazelden, Minnesota model views, so kung saan magkakaroon yan ng, of course, yung lectures, behavioral psychology, yung mga different, class, to treat yung mga patients class, yung mga chemical dependency. So dapat ipaalala sa kanya that the drug addiction or drug taking is a disease. Kumbaga, kapag na-take over na ng drugs ang katawan mo, you are powerless. Ibig sabihin, wala ka nang magagawa. Hindi na ikaw yung dating ganyan, or hindi na ikaw yung dating tao. So again, ulitin natin, ang Hazelden, Minnesota is kailangan mo ipatindi sa kanya that a drug addiction is a disease na kailangan niya layuan, kasi nga wala siyang laban, or he is a powerless when it comes to power taking. So dapat is yung counselors dyan is to define the recovery ngayon, or to guide the recovery of the drug dependence or yung mga chemical dependence natin. So that is an Hazelden, Minnesota model views. I-instill mo sa utak niya that drug taking is a sin na kailangan niyang layuan, kasi nga he is a powerless kapag nakatake ka ng drugs. Hindi na ikaw yon. Then, of course, ang eclectic, or yung tinatawag natin na eclectic approach, i-explain natin mamaya, i-skip muna natin. Dito naman tayo sa spiritual approach. Ang spiritual approach class, gumagamit sila ng Bible, which is the primary source ngayon, to inspire the drug dependence to change, di ba? So, dito rin, sinasabi natin dito that drug taking is a sin, di ba? There's a spiritual. Hazelden pala is drug taking is a disease. Nakuha ba? Baka na-confuse kayo. Sa Hazelden, sinabi niya that drug addiction, or drug taking rather, is a disease, while under sa spiritual approach, drug taking is, or drug addiction is a sin, kasi from the word is a spiritual class. So ang purpose niyan is to encourage ngayon yung mga patients na layuan nila or to turn away from drugs and renew their relationship with the Lord through the use, or yung primary source natin is the Bible. So that is under the spiritual approach. Tandaan nyo, under the Hazelden, Minnesota, sinasabi niya that drug taking is a disease. Ang spiritual approach naman, drug taking is a sin. So dapat you turn away from it and you renew your relationship with the Lord through the use of the Bible, which is the primary source in the change of the drug dependence. That is under the spiritual approach na meron tayo. Then eclectic, Ang eclectic naman class, ibig sabihin combination ng lahat or holistic approach. Lahat-lahat na yung holistic for the holistic approach in the rehabilitation of the of the person. So ibig sabihin pangkalahatan titingnan mo the physical aspect, the emotional, the mental, 'di ba? The psychological and so on. So lahat ngayon is dapat i-address mo ngayon for the complete recovery of the drug dependence. Okay? So yan ang tinatawag natin na eclectic approach. Then ang therapeutic is yung same kanina na in-explain ko, na doble pala. So again, ulitin natin, in the treatment or in the drug treatment modality na meron tayo, ang multidisciplinary, ibig sabihin that is the combination of the different discipline and different expert class for the recovery of the drug dependence. So pagtutulungan nila yan ng different discipline. Ang therapeutic community approach naman, ibig sabihin ang purpose niyan is to foster behavioral change and attitudinal change to drug dependence para mabago sila. Then pag sinabi naman nating Hazelden, Minnesota model views, i-explain natin sa kanya or i-inculcate natin doon sa drug dependence, the drug taking is a disease kung saan you are powerless kapag you take drugs sa katawan mo. Kumbaga, iti-take over niya lahat. While pag sinabi nating spiritual approach naman, ang ipaintindi naman natin sa kanila na drug addiction or drug taking is a sin, then gumagamit tayo ng Bible as the primary source for them to change and to ipaintindi natin sa kanya na to turn away from drugs and to renew the relationship with the Lord that is a spiritual. Then eclectic approach, ibig sabihin that is that is an holistic approach kung saan lahat ng areas na pwede natin i-check or tingnan for the complete recovery and rehabilitation of that person is ititingnan natin. That is an eclectic approach. Okay, holistic kumbaga, lahat. Physical, emotional, psychological, lahat class, i-check natin for the complete recovery of the drug dependence or the drug patients. Okay, naintindihan nyo na ngayon? Okay, nakuha ba? Okay, so yan ang tinatawag natin na eclectic. Actually class, yung sa therapeutic modality, yung sa presentation ko last, yung kahit yung sa YouTube, yun mismo ang lumalabas pagdating sa board exam. Ang dali mo lang masagutan kahit gaano pa kahit i-case analysis pa ng examiner, ang dali lang kapag na-simplify sa inyo. Alam niyo yung principle, alam niyo yung concept, alam niyo yung rationale behind the topic, hindi kayo mahihirapan pagdating sa board exam class. Ganun lang kadali. Okay, kahit matulog kayo. I mean, kahit nakapikit, no? Kayang sagutin yon. Okay, joke lang. Okay, so that is the different drug-dependent modality. Actually, class, hindi ako nagdi-discuss masyado ng core ad eh. Ibinibigay ko na yan sa iba. Pero, ang ganda i-discuss ang core ad pag nakuha mo yung concept, yung strategy. Mapiperfect mo actually ang subject na to kapag nakita, ay, ganun lang pala siya kadali kung pag-aralan natin or kung i-simplify natin. So, ganun lang yan siya. Okay, so yun ang drug dependence. So, kapag may mga questions dito na nakukunin ng examiner, I'm sure ako, confident ako na masasagot nyo yan. Kasi, syempre naman, di ba? Ano ka? B-O-B-O? Joke lang. Okay, so, ayan. So, hindi pwede. Okay, that is number 9. Okay, next, number 10. Okay, dito tayo. When a resident breaks the house rules for the second time with the same offense, a panel of 3 senior resident, a peer, and a friend is formed to deliver a serious reprimand. So what behavioral shaping tool is being utilized in this scenario? What is that? Okay, of course, may nalagay ako dyan mamaya na gi-prepare ko kasi kaninang umaga to. Nung nagkakape ako. Okay, sabi niya, what is your answer? Okay, dealt with. Okay, so ayan, dealt with. Okay, let's see kung tama yan. Okay, ang sagot natin dyan, that is letter C, dealt with. Okay, very good. Majority got the correct answer. Okay, so this one, hindi ko muna i-explain class kasi meron siyang meron siyang sub-answer. So again, kasi second time yun na, how about this one? So the action or activity given to a resident who was subjected to haircut or general meeting who did an infraction to correct or modify a behavior prohibiting, disallowing, or limiting an activity or affiliation to a group. What is it? Okay, what is this? Anong sagot natin dyan? Okay, anong sagot natin dito, class? Letter C, bans. Okay, kasi na makalagay, di ba? Prohibiting, disallowing, or limiting the activity or affiliation to a group. So, automatically, walang ibang sagot. That is letter C, that is learning experiences or bans. Okay, so walang nagkamali, no? Okay, this one. Okay, dito kayo, makinig kayo mabuti kasi kailangan natin i-perfect yung tinatawag natin na hierarchy of behavioral shaping tools. Makinig kasi i-simplify ko ngayon class sa inyo para mas maunawaan ninyo. Okay, so we will start with the behavioral shaping tools, yung talk to. Okay, so pag sinabi natin talk to, that is the outright correction. Ibig sabihin, agad-agad, okay, done by a member of the therapeutic community to another member. Kumbaga, ay mali yan, di ba? So that is kung saan class, ang nakomit niya is he has done a minor infraction but he is not aware kasi nga bago lang siya sa tinatawag natin na therapeutic community. So, ang outright correction in Filipino, para mas madali yung that is pagpapayo or pagpapaalala. So again, ulitin natin, talk to, ibig sabihin that is a outright correction or agad-agad na pagpapayo or pag-aalala sa ng isang therapeutic community member sa isang member class who has done a minor infraction. Then, ang pagkakomit niya ng minor infraction, he is not aware of it. So that is a pagpapayo, pag-aalala. So yung talk to kasi class, that is only a friendly reminder or advice. Pero that is done privately. Kumaga hindi yan, parang tatawagin mo, halika nga dito. Nagkamali ka, ito sana yung mo. Napansin ko kasi, hindi kasi ako aware na nagkamali ako. So that is a talk to class. So yung the resident is made aware ngayon kasi nga tinawag mo of his negative behavior. Then kung ano yung magiging sabihin mo sa kanya ano yung magiging nito negative effects sa entire environment. So the feedback is given to the resident class kapag in a positive way naman na pagko-correct kasi wag naman masyadong harsh. So kapag isasabihin mo sa kanya, wag niya na ulitin kasi medyo bibigyan siya ng sanctions kapag in the future inulit niya. So again, that is a talk to. That is the outright correction done by any member of the therapeutic community class to another member who has done a minor infraction. That is pagpapayo or pagpaalala or paalala rather or pagpapaalala. That is talk to. Then we will proceed in the pull-up ngayon. Sa pull-up naman, that is a result or that is as a result ngayon of lack or missed or lapses in awareness in a resident. Ibig sabihin, he is aware na nagkasala siya or nakakommit siya ng hindi maganda, siyempre. So ang purpose niyan is it encourages honesty ngayon, demeanor or awareness and owning up to one's mistake. Halimbawa, may nagkasala tapos walang aamin. So, yan ang purpose ng pull-up. So, kasi nga, the violator is unknown. Hindi natin ma-determine kung sino nagkasala. So, i-validate muna yan before bringing up or prior to bringing up in the morning meeting na i-explain natin mamaya. So, that is pagpupuna sa kamalian ng di kilala ang gumawa. Meaning, walang aamin or hindi natin ma-determine kung sino talagang gumawa. So, that is the purpose of the pull-up class. That it encourages honesty, demeanor, or awareness and owning up to one's mistake. Meaning, kailangan mong umamin ng tapat, syempre, na ikaw na nagkasala. So, that is the purpose of pull-up. It encourages honesty class. Okay? So, kung saan, it creates a certain degree of dissonance on guilty party kung saan nagkakaroon siya ng guilt internally sa loob niya na i-continue niya ba ang pagsisinungaling or aamin na lang siya sa pagkakasala niya. So, yan ang tinatawag natin na pull-up class. Kailangan ma-instill sa kanila yung honesty and accountability of their actions. kung saan dyan sa pull-up, nagsa-start, the resident is able to overcome yung impulse to lie and start practicing yung honesty class and accountability and his commitment to live doon sa tinatawag natin na therapeutic community standards na ano natin. So pagpupuna sa kamalian ng di kilala ang gumawa. So that is the pull-up class. Okay, that is to promote or to encourage honesty and accountability class. And of course, awareness na pag-admit ng mistake niya. That is what we call pull-up. Okay na ba? Then, of course, we have what we call the dealt with. Okay, yung dealt with naman, the negative behaviors or infractions to the house rules or norms are done for the second time of the same offense by a resident. So, same offense for the second time around. Then, syempre, isa-subject siya dyan sa tatlong panel. Yung tatlong panel na yan, senior resident, the peer, and of course, yung friend. Of course, they are tasked to deliver a serious and stern reprimand to the subjected or resident class. So, yung dealt with naman is ginagawa yan privately in a room or area with no other person hearing the conversation or yung pag-uusap. So, that is dealt with. So, again, that is the negative behavior or infractions to the house or norms kung saan ginawa niya yan for the second time for the same offense by a resident. So, syempre, he will be subjected for the reprimand and merong punishment, no? Na syempre, yung 3 panels natin dealt with for the second time of the same offense. Yun ang tandaan nyo, for the second time for the same offense. Yung haircut naman, na tinatawag natin. Hindi to literally na haircut. So, ang haircut kasi, that is when the negative behaviors or infractions to the house rules in the same offenses are done for the third time naman or more for the first time grave offense. Again, grave offense naman ang nakomit niya, third time or more for the first time sa grave offense. So, ang haircut, that is carefully planned and structured verbal reprimand, again, verbally class. So, that is yung 4 resident naman natin, another senior resident, peer, yung big brother, and department head ang magkakandak ng tinatawag natin na haircut. So, yung nangyayari sa haircut class, the resident is called and waits until being asked sa mga tanong doon. He will be asked if he knows the reason for his appearance. Alam mo ba kung bakit ka nandito? Then kapag nag-response na siya, he will be asked to sit and remain silent to enable him to class to absorb all the advices coming from the panel, yung senior resident, peer, big brother, and of course the department head. So yan ang purpose ng haircut na nagawa niya for the third time or more for the first time sa grave offense. That is haircut. Then learning experience. Dito naman sa learning experience, from the word itself, learning experience and bonds, yun yung mga actions and activities class who was subjected to haircut or general meeting who did an infraction to correct or modify a behavior. Kung saan, ano yung natutunan niya during haircut la? Okay, na ano niya ba, na absorb or na contemplate niya ba sa isip niya yung mga advices na binigay sa kanya ng team? Okay, so ano yun? Ang haircut natin class is, ang ano dyan is senior resident, peer, big brother, and department head. Ang nakalagay doon. Then again, ulitin natin sa learning experience or sa bonds, kung that is the activity given to a resident who was subjected to the haircut or general meeting para makorek or ma-modify ang kanyang behavior. Ano yung kanyang mga realization kung baga. So, ang purpose ng learning experience, again, to syempre to correct or modify their behavior. Then, bans, ibig sabihin, to prohibit. Okay? So, as a consequence, pinagbabawalan siya ngayon, disallowing or limiting ngayon yung activity niya or affiliation to a group, di ba? Kapag nakaban ka, ibig sabihin hindi ka pwedeng pumunta dito sa lugar na to, hindi ka pwedeng pumasok sa bahay na yan, or hindi ka pwedeng makihalubilo sa grupo na yan. So that is what we call the bans. Then the general meeting na tinatawag natin is kung saan that is a repeated breach, ibig paulit-ulit na lang, to the cardinal or to the cardinal rules na meron sa therapeutic community. Ang purpose ng general meeting, because of the repeated violation or breach, to point out yung violator, yung negative effect, yung kanyang behavior hindi lang para sa kanya, then of course to the entire community. Kasi nga, yung kanyang violations, it poses a threat to the community class. So they violate the established order and safety of the therapeutic facility. So that is a general meeting. So again, ang purpose ng general meeting class is i-point out ngayon doon sa yung sa ating client yung kanyang negative behavior at ano yung magiging epekto nito sa community as a whole. So para ipaalala sa kanya yung ano na kumbaga kung ipapatuloy niya yan, so maaapektuhan totally yung safety ng therapeutic facility natin. So that is a general meeting to point out the violator yung negative effect ng kanyang behavior sa mga kasamahan. Then of course, ang pinakamalala is expulsion. Ang expulsion naman, that is for extreme cases, di ba? When the resident is incorrigible, hindi mo correct, no? And become threat to the community. So, nagkakaroon ng mga disturbances. So, dyan ngayon, class, the director, with the recommendation of the disciplinary board, so ita-transfer na siya ngayon to the nearest jail or facilities class with an appropriate court order. So that is an expulsion na tinatawag natin. Nakuha? Kasi nga because of hindi na siya makorek or hindi na siya, he is already incorrigible. So yan ang tinatawag natin class na expulsion. Okay, yung na-comment dyan, so yan ang tandaan ninyo ha. Okay, so ang acronym na ginamit ko dyan is, that is correct, ex hila de puta. Okay, so tama yan, ex hila de puta. Okay, so exhe, exje le ha di puta. Okay, so yan. Okay, parang pangit pakinggan, no? Pag sinabi nating X, that is expulsion. G is general knitting. Yung le is learning experience or bond. We have ha, haircut. De is dealt with. Then pu, okay, so pull up. Then ta is talk to. Okay, so yan ang tinatawag natin na acronym. So, i-copy nyo lang yan kasi yan ang binigay ko na acronym para mas madali. Again, pag sinabi natin talk to, that is the outright correction or the advices na binibigay natin sa ng isang TC community member to another community member who has done a minor infraction. Then he is not aware of it. That is pagpapayo or pagpaalala. Ang pull up naman, that is to promote honesty among the members, kung saan kailangan dapat i-aminin nila or to own one's mistake. Then yung accountability, so that is what we call sa pull-up. Then ang dealt with naman, that is given ngayon sa mga infractions na nakakommit ng resident for the same offense for the second time. That is what we call dealt with. Ang verbal haircut rather, that is for third offense naman. But of course, for the first time, sa grave offense kung saan subject yung tinatawag natin class sa ano yung tawag natin dito? Sa mga violations or yung mga consequence. Then of course, learning experience, that is the activity given to a resident who was subjected to haircut or general meeting class. Kung para kanilang behavioral change. Kasi nga, yung bans naman is pinoprohibit siya ngayon or dinidisallow siya ngayon or nililimit ngayon yung activity niya or yung affiliation with other group, that is learning experience or ban. Then general meeting, that because of the repeated breach ngayon or violation, so ipapaalala ngayon class sa resident yung negative effect ng behavior niya sa community as a whole, and of course ano yung threat na nadadala niya sa community. That is a general meeting. Then expulsion, that is for the extreme cases when the resident is incorrigible and he has already become threats to the community. Then he will be subjected for transfer ngayon from of the director with the recommendation of the disciplinary board class. Ita-transfer siya ngayon sa nearest jail facilities with an appropriate court order, of course. That is, and of course, yan ang tinatawag natin na expulsion. Nakuha ba? Tandaan nyo lang yung ex hila de puta. We have expulsion, general meeting, the learning experience or the bans. We have also the dealt with, the pull up, and of course the talk to. So yan ang tinatawag natin class na behavioral shaping tools na ano tayo. Naintindihan nyo ba? Naintindihan or nakunin? Okay na? Okay na? Okay, so, okay. Sige, I hope naintindihan nyo. Ulitin nyo ito mamaya yung ating discussion para mas ano natin. Okay, next. Dito tayo sa number 12. Okay, so this rules provides states with detailed guidelines for protecting the rights of a persons deprived of their liberty from pre-trial detainees to sentenced prisoner. What is this? Letter A, the Nelson Mandela Rules. Letter B, the United Country Rules. Letter C, the Bangkok Rules. And letter D, the United Nations Rules for the treatment of women prisoners. Okay, detailed guidelines, class, from the rights of a person from pre-trial ngayon to sentenced prisoner. Ano yung sagot nyo dito? Alpha. Okay, so syempre that is the Nelson Mandela Rules. Okay, lahat, no? Okay, rules 1, 2, 2, very good. So majority got the correct answer. So again, ang Nelson Mandela Rules that provides detailed guidelines for every state, including the Philippines, class. The rights of a person deprived of their liberty from pre-trial detainees to sentenced prisoner. So yun yung ano natin. Aside from our laws dito nationally, meron tayong mga international, which is the Nelson Mandela Rules. Okay, next, number 13. So this is also known as the Nelson Mandela Rules or 122 Rules. Letter A, the United Nations Minimum Rules for Treatment of Prisoners. Letter B, the United Nations Rules for Treatment of Women, Prisoners, and Non-Custodial Measures for Women Offenders. Letter C, the United Nations Rules for Prisoners. And letter D, the United Nations Rules for Children Prisoners. What is that? Anong sagot natin? Alpha? Okay, so syempre, ang Nelson Mandela Rules, class, basically that is the United Nations Minimum Rules for Treatment of Prisoners. Tandaan nyo yung Nelson Mandela Rules or 122 Rules, that is the United Nations Minimum Rules for the Treatment of Prisoners. That is Alpha. Okay, very good. Okay, number 14. So this is also known as the Bangkok Rules or 70 Rules. Ano naman yan? Yung kapag Bangkok, the United Nations Minimum Rules for Treatment of Prisoners, United Nations Rules for Treatment of Women Prisoners, United Rules for Prisoners or Children. What is this? Kapag Bangkok, syempre na-explain ko to sa inyo, no? That is, kapag Bangkok Rules, class, that is letter B, that is the United Nations Rules for Treatment of Women Prisoners and Non-Custodial Measures for Women Offenders. That is Bravo. Okay, so ayan, very good. Majority got the correct answer. Okay, number 15. According to the World Health Organization or the WHO, it is defined as the set of interventions designed to optimize functioning and reduce disability in individuals with health conditions and interaction with their environment. Letter A, rehabilitation. Letter B, reformation. Letter C, retribution. And letter D, restoration. Sabi niya, set of interventions na na-define ngayon ng World Health Organization. Okay, so I already discussed that one. So ang sagot natin is rehabilitation, class. Okay, so again, the set of intervention to optimize functioning. Then, of course, yung health conditions nila, then pag bumalik sila sa community where they came from originally. Okay, number 16. It is an environment that help people get help while helping others. It is a treatment environment, class. The interaction of its members are designed to therapeutic within the context of the norms that require for each to play yung dual role ng client and therapist. Okay, what is that? What environment ang tinitingnan natin? Kasi ang tanong niya is environment. So you answered environment kayo. Ay, sorry. Okay, anong sagot natin dito? Okay, so syempre, kasi environment ang ano niya, that's why ang sagot natin that is a therapeutic community kung saan they will play a dual role of a client and a therapist. Okay, so syempre sabi niya, it is an environment that helps people get help while helping others. Okay, that is a shared shared formula. So that is a therapeutic community. Alpha. Okay, next, number 17. This is a self-help social learning treatment model used for clients with problems of drug abuse and other behavioral problems such as alcoholism, stealing, and other antisocial tendencies. It provides a dynamic mutual self-help environment in which residents transmit or reinforce one another's acceptance of and conformity with the highly structured and stringent expectations of the community. Again, ito naman is a social treatment model. So, model naman ang tinatanong. So, syempre, you will answer model. Okay, what is your answer? Okay, so that is letter B. That is the therapeutic community modality. So, again, clients with problems of drug abuse, such as, it provides a dynamic mutual support. Okay, that is kasi nga, kung environment ang tinatanong, sagot yung is therapeutic community. Kapag tinanong naman is learning the treatment model. So, ang sagot dyan is therapeutic community model. So, very good. Majority got the correct answer. Number 18. So, the following are the activities in the therapeutic community modality except, ngayon, ang hindi kasali sa activities conducted in the therapeutic community. Letter A, individual and group counseling. Letter B, moral spiritual values formation. Letter C, vocational livelihood and skills training. Or letter D, community or intervention program, which is not included, class, in the therapeutic community modality. Delta. Okay, so very good. So ang hindi kasali dyan is Delta, the community intervention program. So again, tandaan nyo, class, under the therapeutic community modality, we have the three. Of course, we have different concept na ginagawa natin dan. Individual and group counseling, the moral, spiritual values formation, vocational livelihood and skills. So, ang hindi kasali dyan is the community intervention program. That is Delta. Okay, yes. Therapeutic center. Yung mismo doon. Yung, yung facility. Okay, number 19. This phase of the BJMP's therapeutic modality, that the resident is now ready to undergo the proper treatment. He becomes a part of the community starting as a crew member of the housekeeping department until he gradually ascends in the hierarchy. What is that? Okay, is that phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, or phase 4? Okay, so dapat na-master nyo na to, no? Okay, what is your answer? Phase 2. Okay, ang sagot natin dyan, that is letter B, that is phase 2. Kasi sabi niya, the resident is now ready to undergo the proper treatment. So, ang sagot natin dyan is phase 2. Ang phase 1 kasi, that is the entry or the orientation phase. Kung saan, class, yung once the PDL is committed to jail, he will undergo yung tinatawag natin na series of examination to determine yung kanyang physical, social, and psychological status. So ngayon, magkakaroon siya ng orientation under the reception and diagnostic room or yung orientation room natin under the therapeutic community program. Then dito sa phase 2 ngayon, class, i-brief siya ngayon sa mga unwritten philosophy, written philosophy, the concept, the staff, and the members. So yan ang tinatawag natin, class, na phase 1, the entry or the orientation. I-brief siya. Ang phase 2 naman, that is the primary treatment, kung saan the resident ngayon is ready now to undergo the proper treatment. So magsa-start siya as a crew member, okay, of the housekeeping department until na ma-ascend siya or umakyat siya doon sa tinatawag natin na hierarchy, that is the primary treatment class. Then ang phase 3 naman, that is the pre-re-entry, ibig sabihin bago siya bumalik sa community. In this stage, under the phase 3 class, the resident already internalized yung values and concept ng therapeutic community. then he is now ready to start a life afresh. Ibig sabihin, babalik siya sa community, is ready na siya na magbagong buhay. So that is under the phase 3 or the pre-re-entry class. So syempre, dyan yung ano niya ngayon, yung ang focus ng pre-re-entry is to make sure na kapag nasa labas na siya, he will rebuild his social and family ties. Then dapat maipakita niya na he can manage himself, he can manage his or her family, and he will become a law-abiding citizen or a productive member of the society. So dyan rin pag ano niya, dyan rin imamap ang mga plans na gagawin niya once nakalabas siya ng therapeutic community or ng kulungan. So that is under the phase 3 or the pre-re-entry. Then phase 4, syempre meron tayong tinatawag na re-entry. So under dito sa re-entry, the resident is now ready to be released back to the society because he has demonstrated already yung self-control and discipline. Kumbaga, kaya na i-manage yung sarili niya. Kung kaya niyang i-manage yung sarili niya, kaya na rin i-manage yung kanyang pamilya class. He will become he is already a productive citizen kapag lumabas na siya. Siyempre, paglabas niya, he will be hunting or he will be searching for jobs, and he will rebuild the family ties and relationship na nawala nung nakulong siya. So that is under the that is under sa re-entry class. Siyempre, meron ding aftercare na nangyayari class kung saan yung clients are required to report twice a week to an outreach center class. Of course, magkakaroon ng adjustment para ma-check natin kung nagbabago na ba talaga siya ng tama or nagbabago na ba talaga siya ng mabuti. So that is under the re-entry. Again, ulitin natin class. Under sa BGMP Therapeutic Modality Program, we have the phase 1 kung saan class magkakaroon ng orientation of the therapeutic, yung sa norms and rules, the concepts, the written and the unwritten philosophy. I-brief natin siya during the orientation phase. Ano nangyayari sa loob? Then ang phase 2, that is a primary treatment kung saan the resident is now ready to undergo the proper treatment. He becomes part of the community. Then he will start as a crew member until he gradually ascends to the hierarchy. Then phase 3, that is the pre-re-entry. So pre-re-entry, in this stage, the resident is already internalized the TC values and concept, and he is now ready to start a life afresh outside the jail facilities. So meaning, nagkakaroon na siya ng self-control and discipline, and he can manage already his life or his family. Then dito sa free re-entry, syempre, i-make sure natin na he will rebuild his families kapag lumabas siya. Then he will also show leadership with himself and to his family. Then he will become a productive citizen kapag nakabalik siya sa community kung saan siya nanggaling. Then dyan rin i-map out yung mga plans na meron siya sa sarili niya at para sa pamilya niya. That is under the pre-re-entry. Then re-entry kung saan dyan yung the resident is already demonstrated or is now ready to be back to the society because he has demonstrated already self-control and discipline. And he is already preparing outside yung kanyang buhay sa labas ng jail. Paglabas niya, he will search for jobs or he search for opportunities, and he will make himself productive citizen. Then dyan na siya, i-rebuild niya yung kanyang pamilya na syempre yung relationship na naputol nung nasa loob siya ng kulungan class. Okay, so yan ang pre-re-entry. Then magkakaroon din ng aftercare kung saan to make sure na maiwasan ang recidivism and to make sure na maiwasan yung recommission of crime kapag nakalabas siya ng kulungan. That is phase 4. Okay, naintindihan nyo? Nagets ba? Nagets? Okay, that is phase 4. Okay, next we have another one. Okay, so last muna ng para mag-break tayo. For number 20, let's have this one. Okay, so it ensures that inmates are completely incapacitated from further committing criminal acts. 25 pala class para mag-break tayo. Again, anong purpose nito? Sorry. It ensures that inmates are completely incapacitated from further committing criminal acts. Na-explain ko na to kanina, no? Okay, so anong sagot natin dyan? Okay, so bakit security? Okay, safekeeping. Okay, from the word itself, incapacitated. So that's why that is the safekeeping of the national PDLs. Ang purpose natin yan is to cut off yung kaniyang criminal networks outside the prison. Yung mga organization he is belong, kung saan siya na belong. So dapat ma-cut off natin yun para totally ma-incapacitate siya from committing another or from committing further criminal acts. So ang sagot natin is alpha, safekeeping of the national PDLs. Okay, naiintindihan ba? Okay, that is alpha. Number 21. So it is the policy-making and strategy formulating body in the planning and formulation of policies and programs on drug prevention and control. Okay, syempre, walang nagkakamali dito. This is gas-gas na question. So dapat alam na alam nyo, that is kapag policy-making and strategy formulating body, so the answer is DDB or the Dangerous Drug Board, while ang PDEA, of course, that is the implementing arm of the government. So again, DDB class, that is the policy making and strategy formulating body. Sila yung nagpo-formulate ng mga policies and programs on drug prevention and control. Sila ang nagpaplano. Then the PDEA or the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency will implement those policies and programs na formulate ng DDB or the Dangerous Drug Board. Tandaan nyo, ang DDB, that is the policy making, while ang PDEA, that is the implementing arm of the Dangerous Drug Board. Okay, number 22. One of the drug treatment modalities of the DDB where it aims to treat patients with chemical dependency, endorsing a set of values and beliefs about the powerless of people over drug taking. What is this? Again, that is a treatment modalities of the DDB where it aims to treat patients with chemical dependency, endorsing a set of values and beliefs about the powerless of people over drug taking. Okay, so again, sabi niya, drug taking is a disease. So that is a Hazelden, Minnesota model views, that is Bravo. Kasi diba, ang eclectic is overall ang multidisciplinary combination of the different expert and discipline in the field. Then therapeutic community is for the behavioral change. So ang sagot natin dito, to treat patients with chemical dependency, that is Bravo, Hazelden, Minnesota model views. Number 23. The face of the therapeutic community ladderized program of the PPA, where its focus is to effect behavioral change and develop client initiative and self-discipline. What is this? Okay, anong sagot natin dito? Okay, so syempre magkaiba yan class sa PPA ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. Okay, so ang sagot natin dyan is letter B, that is the phase 2 or primary treatment. So under the therapeutic community ladderized program of the PPA or the Parole and Probation Administration, syempre meron tayong tinatawag na phase 1, that is the orientation, parang katulad ng sa BGMP, no? Kung saan class is the clients are acquire or are brief ngayon sa or oriented doon sa program, philosophy, and the beliefs of the therapeutic community. So yan ang tinatawag natin na orientation. And the primary treatment, ang purpose niya is to effect a behavioral change and develop client initiative and of course self-discipline. So i-equip natin sila ng mga values and skills. That is phase 2. Then phase 3 naman, immersion natin. Sa immersion, it is a vital link between the phase 2 and of course the phase 4, which is the integration, kung saan sa immersion, clients apply their learnings class from phase 2, diba? And are now internalizing yung TC concept and beliefs class. So dito, sa immersion class, clients have become more mature and responsible. So they are fulfill their duties in the community and of course their families, that is in an immersion. Then sa integration naman, sa phase 4, the clients manifest sustained positive changes in the behaviors and attitudes that make him, of course, or hers, at thesis trend and a role model doon sa kanilang fellow clients class. So, syempre lahat natutunan niya na yung livelihood, literacy skills, marunong magbasa, magsulat, and of course, he is already a productive member and an inspiration to other members of or other clients. So, that is a phase 4 or under the integration class. So, yan ang tinatawag natin. Kumbaga, he can behave or he can manage his family and in the community without direct supervision coming from the parole and probation officer. So again, i-summarize natin class under the Therapeutic Community Ladderized Program or the TCLP of the PPA class. Of course, sa orientation, magkakaroon tayo ng i-orient sila sa program, philosophy, and beliefs of the therapeutic community that is under orientation. Primary treatment, that is, ang purpose yan is to effectively promote yung behavioral change and develop client initiative and self-discipline. Then, immersion ngayon, magkakaroon tayo ng, they are more mature, they will apply ngayon yung learnings nila in the treatment process. Dapat makita natin na they are mature already, they are responsible, and they can fulfill their duties to their families and to the community that is under the immersion. Then integration from the client in this stage already sustained positive changes and behavior. He is now an asset of the therapeutic community and he becomes a role model ngayon to his or her fellow clients. So that is under the integration. So he can manage his family or the community without the direct supervision and control of the probation and parole officer. So that is under the integration. Okay, naintindihan ba? Okay, so naintindihan class? Okay, so yan ang tinatawag natin na sa ladderized program natin. Na-explain naman sa inyo ito, no? Na-explain or ano? Okay, that is under phase 2 or the primary treatment program. Okay, next number dito tayo class. Number 24. So under the prison service manual, the prescribed color of prison uniform for maximum security prison is, what is the color of uniform? Kapag maximum yan. Siyempre, ang magkamali dito, ipapasuotan natin ng ng uniform. Okay, kapag maximum, siyempre, that is orange. Okay, that is letter A, orange. Ang brown naman, brown, para saan yung brown? Anong kulay para sa brown? Okay, kung wala yung orange class, syempre tangerine, di ba? Ang brown is medium. Then, of course, yung blue naman. Blue is, okay, so ang blue natin is, ang brown is minimum. Then, of course, ang blue is for medium. Okay, again, ulitin natin. Ang blue is for medium. Then, brown is for minimum. Then, ang orange or tangerine naman, that is for maximum security offender or prisoners. Siyempre nakalagay yan sa prison service manual natin. Okay, next we have number 25. Okay, number 25, when an inmate is given a shakedown before admission, it means what? Okay, pag sinabi nating pag sinabi nating shakedown, what is that? Shake, shake, shake. Okay, what is shakedown? Na-explain ko na yan, di ba, last year, yung sa mga estudyante ko last year. So, no reason na hindi nyo alam what is shakedown. Okay, what is shakedown? Letter B. Okay, ang purpose ng shakedown class, it means he's been examined for contraband. Okay, so ano naman yung kabaliktaran ngayon ni shakedown? Ano ngayon yung kabaliktaran ni shakedown? Ano yun? Okay, so kasi pag sinabi nating shakedown, okay, contraband. Okay, pag sinabi kasi nating shakedown, that is the body search of every inmates wherein the personal effects is required. So, meaning, upon admission, the inmate shall be searched thoroughly. Dapat tingnan natin, baka may dala siya ng mga contraband. Kasi di ba pag sinabi nating contraband, that is any item or article that is not allowed to possess under the prison rule, shall be considered as contraband. And of course, that is subject for the confiscation. Yung contraband rin that is not allowed under the Philippine laws, syempre. Then, ang nuisance contraband that is allowed by the Philippine laws, but that is not allowed under the jail rules and regulations. So, ngayon, ang ang pag sinabi nating shakedown, that is the body search, or the inmate has been examined for contraband. Anong kabaliktaran ni shakedown, class? Ang kabaliktaran niya is clamp down, di ba? Okay, again, ulitin natin. Ang kabaliktaran niya is clamp down. Okay, ang clamp down naman, kapag ang tanong dito is clamp down, ang sagot nyo dyan is alpha. Kasi after registration, the inmate shall be taken yung mugshot natin or the general photograph, yung front and side view niya. Then fingerprint, dapat makuha rin yung fingerprinted niya. And of course, assign a permanent prison number kasi kailangan i-assign yon. The inmate shall be given yung tinatawag natin na prescribed haircut and yung kaniyang beards or yung kanyang and mustache rather shall be shaved off kapag bago siya ipasok. So again, ang shakedown, ang purpose ng shakedown is for the examination or the contraband. Then ang clampdown naman, that is yung mga mechanical processes, fingerprint, identification, yung kanyang prison number, mugshots, and so on for the record purposes. So yan ang tinatawag natin na shakedown. He has been examined for contraband. Naintindihan ba? Okay, so I hope clear. Okay, so naintindihan, class? Okay na? So ayan, so isa-stop muna tayo, mag-break. So babalik tayo ng 8:30. Then we will continue at 8:30. So thank you. So i-end ko yung live, i-end ko yung natin, yung recording para ma-process na. Then pasok ka na lang ko ulit sa same link after kain. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you everyone.